Norman Thomas, 6 times candidate for president on the Socialist Party ticket, said the American people would never vote for socialism. But he said under the name of liberalism, the American people will adopt every fragment of the socialist program.
When this bill is law, 3 strikes and you're out will be the law of the land.
They are absolutely destroying the traditional Western civilization right before our eyes.
And I consider it part of my responsibility as President of the United States to fight against negative stereotypes of Islam wherever they appear.
The intent of the founders, that's what the Supreme Court is supposed to do.
I declare, I'm not going to pay for that wall.
Donald Trump want to protect our nation because he said that if he's in office, he will find the enemy and destroy the enemy.
Welcome to the Abolitionists Roundtable, your all-access pass to the 2016 Red, White, and Blue Conservative Revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now here are your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
Good morning. Thank you, folks, for joining the Abolitionist Roundtable. Yes, we are going to build that wall. Yes, the Abolitionist Roundtable is here this morning, and we're going to go out and destroy the enemy ourselves. The weapon that we're going to use today is truth. That's our weapon. The best weapon of all. That's one weapon that liberals do not want you to use at all. As soon as you give them truth, the conversation is over. They shut it down. They turn to something else. They use the race card. They use anything. Once you use something called true, I want to just tell you a joke that this, I guess, Milt told me this. This is from Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, and I want to say good morning to Phil and Mayor, Phil and the Mayor this morning. They're gonna come in a minute. This is how I say our best weapon is truth. Milt told me about Dinesh's movie. This is one of the propaganda moves that liberals use. He said that Dinesh went to a Democrat campaign office, and guess whose picture was on the wall? Abraham Lincoln. They want to deceive people. And that deception they're using is to tell people that the Democrat Party is now the Republican Party, and the Republican Party is that they switch, that people they crossed over. And so, folks, I want you to be excited. We can't look at what's going on in the news and think that because Donald Trump is down in the polls a little bit. Folks, you got to remember the last election cycle, Phil, we won over 1,000 seats. Democrats lost over 1,000 congressional seats and gubernatorial offices. Over 1,000 seats they lost. I'm talking about they didn't win anything, even if they were running for dog catcher. They lost. So but in a news cycle, what we see in the news cycle, it looked like somebody's off track. It looked like he's off message. It looked like this is not a traditional campaign. And so I had to get myself back focused. When me and Milt talked, he said, Dale, we got to remember this is not a traditional campaign. So, when we look at the polling and we look at their polling and their scenarios, it's not traditional, because this is not a traditional campaign. This is not a traditional candidate. And then there's people out there that's not going to tell you the truth. It's not people not out there that's going to have, not like the Bernie people with Bernie bumper stickers. They're not going to have the Trump bumper stickers. But in November, it's up to us, all of us collectively, to help them use something what we just talked about, use truth and go in there and vote for somebody that's an outsider, because he is an outsider. But this morning, folks, we have an exciting show, a very exciting show. We want to, this is part 2 of our conversation we had a couple of months ago, Obama's love affair with Muslims and homosexuals. But we're going to focus today on the Muslim aspect of it. The reason why I say that, just think about this. They trying to use this con guy. you know, can you believe that he has a name like Khan, you know, and it almost sounds like Khan, you know. So they're using a Khan, but the Khan to, you know, his son, was he a hero? You know, well, his son is a hero, and all of the young men and women that went out there and participated in war are all heroes. Absolutely they are. So he didn't make any personal sacrifice. We have all volunteer army, Mayor. This is all volunteer army. So he didn't make any special sacrifice at all with his son. But what Democrats did is they used Mr. Khan, and one reason they used him is because he's a Muslim. They used him. And it was to attack Mr. Trump.
Right, and they use their opportunities to the greatest extent.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden, Mr. Khan, the Khan,
That's right.
is telling the world that Allah has
Did you see that?
made Trump make mistakes
Yes.
to discredit them in the public eye forever.
Yes.
And so again, they never waste an opportunity
That's
to
right.
take advantage of somebody making a comment that they don't like.
Yes.
No, it doesn't matter that we have freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't matter when the person who is talking is someone that the power elites don't like.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this is all about. And we know that, and we
Yes.
see it. And the problem is, though, the polls, be they right or
Yes,
wrong,
yes.
I wonder if they actually reflect public opinion or if they mold public or shape
that's the purpose.
public
Shape
Well, that's what they
opinion.
do.
Exactly.
That's what the news media is doing. It's not that they're trying to. If they can bring Trump's numbers down, they believe that they can get Hillary elected. That's all they're trying to do. Trying to get her elected by default.
And the key to it is what got Donald Trump to the top of the heap is his opposition to political correctness.
That's right.
Political correctness has taken over.
The PC.
And what it has done is it's given special interest groups special rights to say whatever they care to say, and stop people like Donald Trump from countering it and using it to his to protect his integrity. Why should someone be able to say that Donald Trump is not fit for office and he can't reply to it?
Well, the question is, why is a sitting president saying that another person is not fit for
Oh,
office
Lord.
when, in fact,
Yes.
our sitting president is the least
Well, you
qualified to be in office?
Yes, he is. But you notice that
Matter of fact,
Khan
hold
is the one that said
minute.
said it first.
Was he the one that said it
Yes,
first?
he
I
said
thought,
it.
well,
He
the
said it,
president-
and then the president
Oh,
comes
you know
out
what?
a couple of days
Yeah.
later and says it.
Yeah.
He said that
He
the
paved the way
American
for
people
him.
is rejecting you, Mr. Trump. Yeah, the Khan did say that. As a matter of fact, it's starting to stick. The Khan.
Yeah,
you
it
know
is.
what, Derek? Do me a favor. We're going to hear a little bit from the president with this. You know, this unfit number 533, Derek, and then we're gonna continue.
Yes, I think the Republican nominee is unfit to serve as president. I said so last week, and he keeps on proving it. The notion that he would attack a Gold Star family that had made such extraordinary sacrifices on behalf of our country.
Pause there for a minute, Derek. Pause there for a minute. We're going to continue this. Did the families of the Benghazi, the Boko, the attack, did their families make extraordinary sacrifice to?
Exactly. And look what the
If
Democrat
that's-
Party
if,
did.
If that's the narrative
Yeah.
they're going to use, did they make extraordinary sacrifice?
And Hillary Clinton got on television and basically called Pat Smith a liar.
Is that despicable?
I mean, she
Despicable.
almost said those exact words.
Yes.
And she gets away with that.
Yes.
And yet we have to listen to Mr. Khan over and over and over
Yes.
again talk about our candidate.
And let's
That's
not
right.
forget Chris Matthews. That well, I'm not going.
You reserve- yeah.
This is a family show.
Live
Yeah.
radio, yeah.
Yeah, but he said that it was inappropriate for her to bring that subject up at the convention. He said that.
Yeah.
Chris Matthews. Now, but it's appropriate for Khan to bring it up and question the qualifications of the candidate himself, and the candidate is not allowed to defend himself and say to you, well, wait a minute.
And you know why it's hard for him to defend himself? Because we have a sitting president. This has never ever happened in history. A sitting president that's trying to campaign that's because he's trying to help Hillary campaign against Donald Trump.
Well, now let's get to the fitness. How many times has this man, the president of the United States, said, well, I heard about this incident on the radio. I read about it in the paper.
Yes.
Let's go to it. The NSA, the FBI, the IRS.
Yes.
Every last one of those organizations, he said that he heard about it on the news.
So he always
of people that he appointed.
That's right.
To those positions. And you notice that each and every one of those positions, when they got before Congress, they had a belligerent attitude toward the Congress.
Yes.
They got up there as if they were being asked to tell something that they didn't owe to the American people, the public, the taxpayer. And the belligerence of these people it just makes me so angry that they can get away with this, and then people go around and say, well, Lois Lerner really showed up to Congress. She really showed them that, and here she was stonewalling and lying.
And lying, yes.
And every last one of them, those department heads that came before the Congress and were supposed to tell the Congress what it is that they were doing on the taxpayers' time and on their money. And every last one of them stonewalled. And this president said absolutely nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the modus operandi of the Democrat Party. I think it's really important, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, that we focus on the policy differences between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Yes.
And I have a friend who made a nice list. One of the items on the list is that, I'm trying to find the one that's most important. ISIS is not a factor. And we have to focus on global warming. That's Hillary's position.
That's right.
ISIS is not a factor, and we have to focus on global warming. Donald Trump's position is that we need to kick the heck out of ISIS.
That's right.
Now, there's a stark difference between a policy position.
That statement there, to me, disqualifies her from any consideration to be the president of the United States, let alone
along with her telling this American hero, real American hero's mother in her face that we're gonna to get the person that made that video, and that's what she said.
That's right.
She said it.
And is this guy out of jail yet?
I have no idea where he's at. And so what they did is they manipulated the system, and they put a person in jail that had nothing to do because this was a terrorist attack, and then they turned around and they put the focus on an American that was using his free speech.
And let's go up, when we're talking about not having anything to do with it, Donald Trump had absolutely nothing to do with Khizr Khan's son getting killed.
That's right.
He has every right to defend himself when it comes to somebody saying this person is not fit, because he said that if Donald Trump had been in charge, his son would not even have been here. It's a good possibility that he wouldn't have been here. But again, it might not have been we may not have been in the war.
And see, this again, they going back, they trying to relitigate something, but they trying to, again, they trying to come up with this Islamophobia that is Trump. Has this phobia of Islamics, and it's all we saying is that we want to control our border. Number one, number two, in the midst of war, we are in a war, whether liberals want to admit it or not. When we can go around the country and we could just go to the Post. We can just go to Orlando when somebody can go into a club and holla Allah Akbar and slaughter 50 people. We are at a war.
And the only people that defend
and
that.
So pause for a minute. So Donald Trump said something that you said. You started saying, Phil, a number of years ago, we should have a moratorium.
Yeah.
That's it.
Moratorium.
We should have a moratorium on immigration until we can get some people.
And that's what Donald Trump said.
That's
Until we
what
can
he
find
said.
out what the heck is
What's
going
on, until we can get some people. We want to get them integrated in our society, integrated in our communities, and that's all we saying. If liberals are running around saying that we got what they said, somewhere from 11 to 40 million illegal aliens just walking around right now, why would we want to bring in more people?
Well, that's a universal question. Who would ever know that? But the Democrat Party is using the media to shape public opinion.
They are using it.
They're using it to shape public opinion because the average American is not busy looking at issues, watching the news stories, the true news stories, if there are any, which there is. There's a program called Newsmax.com, and I've been watching that on TV, and thank God it's been aired against Megyn Kelly because I don't want to watch Megyn Kelly. I don't like her opinions. I just don't like her persona. I don't like anything about her. So it's J.D. Hayworth that is hosting this show, Newsmax.com, and it is a wonderful show that takes a look at the issues from a true conservative perspective. And it's refreshing as can be. And the problem is that the Democrat Party has now nominated a woman who is as corrupt as the day is long. This woman has a history of corruption, and I don't know how she keeps getting away with it. And now she gets on air and she defends Obama for giving $400 million in cash to Iran. The state sponsor of terrorism.
That's right.
Isn't that
matter of fact? Hold that thought for a minute. Let's continue this, and we're gonna get to that $400 million because it's something that we need to say about that $400 million that you can keep your ransom if your ransom care, if you like your ransom care, because that's what that was. That was ransom care, and so we're going to talk about that ransom care. But I want to finish this soundbite, and then we're going to move on. But could you go ahead and finish that soundbite for me, Derek?
The fact that he doesn't appear to have basic knowledge around critical issues in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia, means that he's woefully unprepared to do this job.
All right, that's it right there. Okay, so now we're talking about this guy has become president. Now he believed that he has a
unique outlook, a unique perspective,
and that's what it is right there. Phil, you hit it perfect. He has a unique outlook on the world.
Because what I'm saying is,
and he just can't. He was just a community organizer in the streets of Chicago.
8 years ago.
Never signed a paycheck.
Never signed a paycheck.
Let's go into it. Old student loans up until he got
until his book, until his book got until he got a little notoriety.
Until the Democrat Party figured out through the idea of political correctness that if we can get this guy elected, he's got bulletproof a coating on him.
That's right.
He's Teflon. Nothing will stick to this guy. And has anything stuck to him?
Everything just roll off of him. And they trying to roll off the ransom care too.
And the Democrat Party is the party of political correctness.
Yes.
Every
they want to put PC on you, but they don't believe in PC. But they're PCU.
Right.
See, the rule's different. And that's why they can go out and say whatever they want, And just like this Khan guy, this Khan guy, he said this is from he was on a Pakistani news network. He said that you're unacceptable. Khan tells Donald Trump. He said that you're unacceptable. American people are rejecting you, which is not true. Which is not true at all. This is the narrative. Again, we talked about this is the narrative of the news media. The news media is trying to create this narrative. They're trying to twist it. They're trying to make something fit on Donald Trump that don't fit. And that's why we have to let him run this non-traditional campaign, because he's not fitting in that traditional political campaign.
Well, political correctness is not official. It is not set in stone. It's only what perception is. If they can push it over on you, and what happens is they make you adopt that as an unofficial, what do you call it, law almost, because you can't say anything about a woman if you are on the other side of that woman.
Saying. They want you to, they turn around and want you to PC yourself.
Yes, and that's what it is.
Even though you have the First Amendment right, but then they turn around
and
by using these
political
words, homophobic, bigoted, racist, is to help you make self-censor yourself. That's it right there.
Right.
And political speech was the founding fathers' idea of what we need to have.
Protect. Exactly right.
Free speech. You should be able to say whatever it is in an election. And if you look back in history and look at some of the ads, I mean, they had Abraham Lincoln up in the tree talking about he was a baboon. That would be a political correctness. You would never be able to do that.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They adopted political correctness and made Bill Clinton the first black president.
Yeah,
now,
if
you say that he isn't the first black president, you're
politically incorrect.
Yes.
Del, I really like your slogan. If you like your ransom care, you can keep your ransom care. But that is another example of the media's diversion of what the real issue is.
Yes.
They've got us all talking about this connection that even if it is a connected incident, the fact remains that the real problem is that he gave the $400 million in cash. I don't care if there was a ransom. I don't care what the reason was.
And just think about it. They had to transfer these
in
bills
the middle of the night.
They transfer into euros and other currencies and francs and stuff like this. And just think about this right here. That's called money laundering.
Yeah, exactly. And
do you know if any CEO did something like that?
Right.
Do you know he'd be in jail right now?
That's
Would
right.
he be in jail?
That's exactly right. And that's where they're diverting the real problem by talking about ransom care.
Obama just did a money laundering exchange there. Absolutely, he did.
And then
that's what that's called when you take money and drop it off in the middle of the night in some foreign country. That's what that is.
It's unbelievable. Did you happen to see Donald Trump's rally speech last night? Now, did you see that?
Well, I was just thinking, I didn't come up with that, but I heard Krauthammer said something like that, and I had to put my own little spin on it right there. For you. But that's what that is.
But they even tried to roll out that Iran needed the money for infrastructure.
I don't believe that.
And we're $20 billion in debt.
Come on now. Come on. Is this?
Boy.
I mean, again, this is the propaganda spin. Again, just like the Russian emails. He's saying that I hope Russia find those emails, and they said, well, hold up, wait a minute, that's espionage. Until see, the media tried to they tried to spin this until that was the narrative. Until somebody said this right here. Well, if there is no secret emails,
if they deleted them.
No, they just said that. Okay, I thought the emails was just of about Chelsea's wedding, cooking emails. But if they were classified, there were no classified. They saying again that there was no classified email. Well, then if there was no classified emails, why you worry about if the Russians get the emails? There's 30,000 emails.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't have it both ways.
And that's what they want.
And that's how they change the narrative.
Yeah. And that's what they get. They get it both ways because of the corrupt media.
Yes.
Exactly right.
If they didn't have the corrupt media helping them, they would not be succeeding in their obfuscation.
Folks, I tell you what, the mayor is on fire. She is on fire, and Phil is too. Folks, I can't. I'm looking at this Sports Illustrated. We'll talk about that later. If you'd like to join the conversation, give us a call, 734-822-1600. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
You're listening to the Abolitionists Roundtable, patriotic, red, white, and blue, conservative all-access radio, with your hosts, Del, Phil, and Janice. They're leading the charge and advancing the conservative revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600.
Hello, I'm Milt, and this is Logically Speaking Uncensored, the Democrat Party Communist Resurrection USA. On Monday, 25 July 2016 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Democrat Party opened their convention for the coronation of Hillary Clinton as the first arena for the President of the United States. As cloned orchestrated speakers delivered their propaganda, their remarks were filled with fascist and socialist rhetoric and the philosophy of Saul Alinsky. When you combine these three forces of evil, they become the inculcated operating system for the resurrection of communism in the United States of America. Distortion, lies, revisionary history, and unapologetic immoralities are the nexus which connects the forces of evil, and their common goal is to obtain and maintain absolute control and power over the people. And those who hinder their progress are classified as undesirables, worthy of elimination. On the first day, Michelle, the wife of President Obama, was a keynote speaker. Some talk radio pundits said she gave a great speech, but wordsmith crafted compositions tailored to deceive and mislead does not equal truth or validate the sincerity of the speaker. It should be noted that many evil tyrants have been credited with giving great speeches, and among such notables was Adolf Hitler, the evil German dictator. Michelle spoke about inequality, unfairness, and diversity, and she bragged that the greatness of the nation permitted her to live in the White House built by slaves. But the absence of transparent truthfulness, which is normal operating procedures for Democrats, made her a hypocrite because she avoided the historical truth that the Democrat Party financed and supported slavery and labor hardships upon defenseless blacks. As cameras scanned the audience, I saw no prominent placement of American flags, and I did not hear the national anthem or a recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. And as speaker after speaker praised diversity, the word united was noticeably absent. The United States is over 240 years old, and if we wanted to survive another 240 years, the presidential election of 2016 must not be about conservatives, Republicans, or party loyalties. This election must be about the survival of the United States. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Ronald Reagan were aware of the limitation of human longevity. Therefore, they had no illusions about fighting for a distant future, for they knew that their obligations were to fight during their life and time and defend the nation in the here and now. This is the same attitude every legal American who wants the nation to survive must adopt. Because if we lose and our enemies are victorious, there will be no tomorrow. And the nation we cherish today as independent and strong, with trust in God, will perish. Therefore, a vote in November 2016 against Democrat Hillary and her comrades is mandated for stopping their communist resurrection USA. I am Milt, logically speaking uncensored, saying, think about it.
All right, great. Oh, man, that was awesome. Thank you, Milt, for sending that down. Again, that's Milt Harris from Logically Speaking Uncensored. You can hear him every Saturday from 8 to 10 on Joshua's Trail. That's on the other side of the dial. And so we'll be listening to Milt and Reverend Eula and the Abolitionist Roundtable later this morning. Folks, if you'd like to join the conversation, let me know if you enjoyed the mayor last week. She was the host of Joshua's Trail with the Ladies Roundtable. So call in. I want you to call and let the mayor know that you were listening to her last week and you enjoyed the show. So again, give us a call at 734-822-1600. Now we're going to go back for a minute. I'm going to play a little bit of Khan in a minute because people were referring to his wife. His wife was, she just stood there. He didn't give her an opportunity to talk at all. Is that a party? Are you saying 1 minute he's saying that, he believes in the Constitution, but does the Constitution apply to his wife? And then we're going to talk about Boko Haram. Boko Haram has given their leaders instructions to focus on killing Christians, to specifically kill Christians. So we're going to talk about that. Now, this is one that I have a problem with. Now, with the Boko Haram, matter of fact, the Boko Haram, I heard, has killed more Muslims and Christians than ISIS has. So we need to focus on them. Again, we have a weapon. Our weapon is truth, and we got to get that truth out there so we can destroy some of these people. Now here in right in here inside the our studio, we don't have weapons. So our weapon has to be truth. Our weapon has to be truth. That's the weapon that the Democrat Party hate more than anything else. Truth. The Pope, can you believe the Pope? He defended Muslims and blasted and said Islam is not terrorism. Come on, Pope. We just had a priest that was beheaded. They went in the church field. They went in the church and beheaded a priest. Yeah. What's going on with the Pope? Why would he say something like that?
He's been affected with the disease of political correctness. Like so many, even people in the Republican Party, they've been afflicted with that political correctness disease.
That disease.
Yes.
Well, the Democrat Party always likes first, the first black president, the first woman who's nominated to run for president. The Pope is the first communist Pope. Yes. This Pope is the first communist Pope. Yes. I'm sorry, I just have to say it because
again, this is no indictment on our Catholic brothers and sisters out there.
I want you
to not take no offense to that. We're just talking specifically, and don't send me no ugly emails. But anyway, we're talking specifically about him just now. Denouncing the terrorism, denouncing Islam, denounce Muslim. You have to. You're helping them out. They're the ones that slaughtered the most. Absolutely, they are. But but we have to use truth, Pope. We have to. Again, here, this is something that he said I think that nearly all religions have always had a small fundamental group. Then he went on and said that, can he be referring to Catholicism? Sometimes it roll off the tongue a little bit. But then the Pope continued and he said that I don't like when people talk about Islam because violence. He talked about violence because of because all the violence that we see every day. He said, now what? I see. People that are Catholic go out and kill their wives and other things, but they don't do it in the name of their faith. That's what they don't do. They don't do it in the name of their faith, do they?
Well, I don't know, Del, because the Islamic State responded to the Pope's comments by saying ours is a religious war and we hate you. We hate you.
Oh my goodness.
And they can get away with that kind of talk. And I do believe that the Pope is correct in the sense that it's not Islam is not a religion. It is a political ideology. Yes. It is a way of life that includes a religious component.
Yes, absolutely. But you notice that Islam used something that we've been talking about. They use truth. And they told you what their true intention is.
And we choose not to believe it.
And we say, no, you're not. That's not true. You're not not
They have nothing to do with your...
Matter of fact, even Khan. Matter of fact, here, Derek, and we're going to get to our call in just a minute. This is what Khan said. I was trying to lead you to that right there. And so you helped me lead into it. Okay, Derek, if you don't mind, play number 531. Hold on just a minute. We're going to get to our calls in a minute. This is Mr. Khan, 531.
There was in the speech that my good wife asked me to refrain from saying. I wanted to say we
Hold on,
reject.
pause there for a minute. His wife that he wouldn't let her speak, because Sharia law. That Sharia law, I think, feels supersedes the Constitution, but he's not going to tell you that. Okay, go ahead and continue.
All violence. We are faithful, patriotic, undivided loyalty to this country. We reject all terrorism. Yeah. She asked me not to say that because that was not the occasion for such a statement.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
We say to his ignorance, I address his ignorance, that the direct effect, the most effect of the terrorism in the menace of terrorism had been Muslims in the world. Muslims hate this menace of terrorism as much as any other place. It is our duty to keep this country, our country, beautiful country.
Okay. All right. We had a little technical difficulty. Let's go to Mr. Ken from Livonia. Good morning, Ken.
Well, you brought up the Pope and what he had to say about Islam. And I just wanted to say that this Pope reaffirms what my church, what my faith has taught for the last 500 years. And that is the office of the papacy, regardless of who sits in the chair, is the Antichrist. That when we look at the teachings of the Catholic Church, such as that the Pope is the vicar of Christ on earth, which we know is wrong, and we look at other teachings of the Catholic Church, we teach that the Pope, there again, even John Calvin with the Protestants, same thing. Martin Luther, same thing. William Tyndale, John Wycliffe, John Huss. All these people identified the office of the papacy as the Antichrist. And so when I see a pope, and I would even put this on John Paul, because John Paul, he embraced the Muslims too. So here you have a pope embracing the Muslims and saying that they're peace-loving people, Islam is a peaceful religion. Yeah. People, wake up. There's no such thing as a peaceful Muslim.
It's not. Absolutely, it's not at all. And we want to be honest about it. Here, I'm going to read. This is from Christianheadline.com. It said, Boko Haram leader instructed our followers to focus on killing Christians. Okay, so right now they have a focus on this is what, this is, these are Muslims. This is people that subscribe to the follow Muhammad. And they, they say that this is what they want to focus on. And so I think that, the Pope did Christians all around the world a disjustice by not speaking out about what they said. Matter of fact, even the mayor just said that that ISIS turned around and said that they turned around and said, Pope, this is about religion and we hate you. Yeah. They turned around and said that. Thank you, Ken, for calling this morning. We have to keep going. Thank you for listening.
Go ahead. Keep in mind is that these people have been at war with us for 1,400 years.
Yes.
So what gives the Pope or anyone else the idea that these are peace-loving people?
Here, let me just say, if you go to religionofpeace.com, they document every terrorist attack and all the number of people that have been killed since 9/11. It's been 28,000 attacks around the globe since 9/11, and you telling us people, this is the same kind of stuff that we didn't hear it. Mr. Khan said, he said that these are thugs, that he said that this is not Islam. This is not true. You have to first be honest. It is Islam. Islam need to be reformed, and that's what they have to be honest with us about. And this is why, because of that dishonesty, this is why people are going, this is why, without that PC, this is why Donald Trump has so much support.
You know what
the truth is that Islam can't be reformed.
Yeah.
Muslims must be shown the gospel.
Yeah.
Good point,
Yeah,
Ken. That
I'm
is
with
the
you.
truth, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely true. Thank you so much, Ken, for calling. I just want to get one sentence out
Yeah,
here.
go ahead.
The French priest,
Yes.
Jacques Hamal, who was murdered last week,
Yes.
his throat was slit,
Sad.
said before he died, he said, "Go away, Satan, go away,
Yes,
Satan." He
yes.
said that twice. Now that should be the national news, not Mr. Khan telling us that our candidate is not fit to be president.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And when
I'm with
is
you.
the media going to get it right?
I'm with
They
her.
need an exorcism.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I said
Yeah.
that last week. I think that the media needs an exorcism because they
Yes.
are absolutely evil.
That's
Yes,
right.
absolutely. All right, thank you very much, Mayor. We're going to go to our friend Gary from Hazel Park. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Gary.
The left, the media just gave the fascists, which are, the Muslims, another weapon against us, which is all they have to do is send one of their sons into our military, have him sacrifice himself, like they do anyway, self-destruction, and then you have a mouthpiece which is unassailable in America because we can't criticize our Gold Star family.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly what I was thinking, and you said it very well. The thing that you got to look at is how many suicide bombers have been sent around the world
That's
to
right.
do their destruction.
And
Now,
Dennis, I made my election. I am a delegate.
Oh, congratulations, Gary. Congratulations. I'm glad that you made it. I did not make it. If 10 people had voted differently, I would be a delegate. But
Well, I would have voted for you, but I can't. Okay.
thank you, Gary.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you later. All right, what you was going to say? It looked like you had something else you wanted to say about.
Well, I was just going to say that in light of what's happening, a store owner, you gave me an article about a store owner who wanted a woman who was dressed in a complete cover. She had her, I don't even know if it's hijab or...
And then she got the nerve to have glasses on.
Yeah, she has glasses on, and only her eyes are showing, and yet the woman who owned the store was chastised for asking this woman to leave. We don't know what kind of military equipment this woman could have had underneath her tent that she was wearing. That's all I know what to call it. I don't know what the real name of it is, but it's a tent, and she could have had anything under that tent. And with all of the terrorism that is going on in this world today, can't we want to protect ourselves?
All right, we got a little technical difficulty here, Derek. I hear a little buzz. But here, one of the things, Mayor, about that particular article, the store owner mentioned that the reason why she asked her to take off is called a khadif. Wow, I did that
Good for you.
And she asked her because it was a number of robberies. She had a number of robberies at that particular store over the last year. So again, and that's all she's saying. I don't know who you are. I don't know what's under there. Our store's been robbed a number of times. Folks, continue to listen to the Abolitionist Roundtable if you mind. We're having a little technical difficulty right now, but Derek is, I think. The government right now, they're flying the drone over the studio right now, so it has a little bit of an interference, folks. And again, it's because of this truth right now.
Yeah.
It's because of all this truth that's coming out. Again, we want to mention out, Mayor, we want to talk about the U.S. Plane dropped off this $400 million in cash again. And see, that's something that they didn't want to get out because they knew that this was something that was next on our agenda.
Exactly.
This is serious right here.
That's right.
This Obama single ransom care. We want to talk about that right there because, again, this money laundering that he did with Iran, this is important. Any CEO that did something like that right now would be in jail.
Yeah.
Absolutely would.
Well, in fact, Donald Trump mentioned that on the speech last
Did
night,
he?
and he
Really?
said, where is that
Yes.
$400 million on the
Where it came
books?
from.
Where is it? So now, I mean, it is debt. We were talking earlier, that represents debt because we are $20 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
So now do we have to say we're $20,400 million in debt?
Absolutely,
Is that
we
what
do. Yeah.
I mean,
and so
where is it?
I have no idea. So that just lets you know that I remember when back on the campaign trail when People, they went into Detroit and people asked, where's he going to get Obama's going to get this money from? And they say from his stash. Well, that let us know that Obama did have a stash.
Yeah.
This $400 million was stashed somewhere. He does have a stash, and he used that stash for such a time as this right here.
Well, just think about the fact that Hillary Clinton has said that she wants to put taxes on the middle class.
Yes.
Now, what, $1.5 trillion more dollars to fund free college tuition?
Yes.
$1.5 trillion dollars?
Yeah.
And we are already $20 trillion in debt now.
Yeah.
So
just Obama did $10 trillion on his own just in the last 7.5 years.
You could look to Hillary to probably raise another.
In a non-war time,
yeah,
he put that kind of debt on this country.
So it was about $8 trillion when Obama took over.
Yes,
and it's almost $20 trillion now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost 20 now. If Hillary takes over,
Lord.
what are we talking? 50 trillion?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's going to be unprecedented. Again, folks, please hang in there with us. You have to hang in there with us. We don't know what's going to happen once we leave this studio right now. We believe that this haven't been compromised, that haven't been confirmed at all, but we believe that there's a drone right now that's flying over the studio that's caused this problem right now, that's caused this interference. We believe that the government did send a drone over the studio so that they couldn't get that information, this truth out, all this truth out. Again, this is something, wow. And so if you hang in there, because right now we have news right now that's important, that in this studio that's happened right now, that this studio right now is under attack.
Yeah,
absolutely. We don't, as of right now, it hasn't been confirmed.
Cyber attack.
Some kind of cyber attack is happening right now to this studio, folks.
And
so
it's all because
with us. Yes.
you declared that truth.
Yes.
Truth is what we are about.
That's
and
right.
what
That's
we
our
espouse.
biggest defense right there, to win in this war, just to win in this battle.
Yeah.
And that's our weapon. See, they don't have, their weapon is lies.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, in John 8:14, it says that Satan is the father of lies.
Yeah.
There is no truth in him.
And to prove it,
everything that he says is a lie.
One more bit of proof. We talked about the NSA.
Yes.
There is a rumor out there that's quite strong that says that the NSA has all of Hillary's emails.
Yes.
And they are the ones that are leaking it to WikiLeaks.
Oh, they the one that was leaking it to. So WikiLeaks is not. It's not that WikiLeaks have it. It's the NSA that's leaking it to WikiLeaks.
Well, that's why they called them up before Congress, because they were always telling them, you people are spying on Americans. Okay. Well, yeah. So Hillary took her emails out of the State Department and put it in a private system of a private American. So what did they do? They hacked her.
Yeah.
So,
well, Phil, here I just want to mention, folks, we have about a minute left before the show is over. Folks, right now it's unconfirmed, but right now we believe that there's a cyber attack right now that's happening to Wham Talk 1600. I want you to stay tuned to Wham and find out the rest of the day exactly what's going on. Folks, we believe that there's a drone right now that's flying over the studio that's causing this interruption because something is because of all this truth that's going out right now. So again, I want you to stay tuned to Wham the rest of the day. Folks, we're going to have to end it there. Join us next week. We got a number of things that we want to talk about. So we'll see you next week. Again, thank you for joining the Abolitionist Roundtable. God bless you. If you don't mind going to our website, artofmichigan.com. We need your help to continue to get this truth out. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.